I'm gone.
Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck.
Give me that.
To the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Evening, and welcome to another episode of Corner to Copa. We are back with some energy. They had a 3 o'clock matinee game today, and the Tigers stay alive. The series is now 2-2 heading back to Seattle. The offense wakes up to the tune of 9 runs today. This kind of sets the table for what we were hoping yesterday with us going back to Seattle with our ace. There was a wonder whether or not we will be able to keep is there any momentum to build up after scoring? I think it was 4 runs in the 9th inning yesterday. I mean, they were all kind of garbage runs. It didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And early on, it was pretty apparent because we were kind of back to our old selves. But we woke up and we look up now with a 6-run victory, but we scored 9 overall. Coach, how you feeling right now?
We'll see. I don't know. I feel I don't know, a different mix of things. I don't want to put the juju out there, so I'm not going to say what I'm actually thinking because if the reverse psychology is working, then yeah.
Okay. Well, So going into the game, we had our run production went as 3 runs, 3-2. 4 yesterday?
Yeah, we had 1 heading into the 9th inning at that point, being 8-1.
Right. And then we had 9 today. I think that pitching wise, I'm cool with what we got going on. We've held them down. I mean, we gave up a significant amount of runs yesterday, but it's really been the bats that I think we've harped on the most. I mean, there's only so much that you can ask from a pitching staff, especially when you're going against so many professional hitters. But the offense woke up today. We got a couple home runs. Javi got one. Riley Green got one. We talked about, what one person do you need to see, step up? And he had just 1 hit, just that 1 home run. It was a monster shot. It was about 400. I think it said 454 feet. But I think the biggest thing so far throughout this playoffs has been the reemergence of Gleyber Torres, who went 2 for 3 today. And Javi had 4 RBIs today. He went 2 for 4. He went 2 for 4. Did he walk? I think he walked yesterday. Can't find out which. Yeah, no walks today. I think it was yesterday that he walked. But we just jumped all over Spire. What's his name? Greg Spire?
Yeah, the first guy out of the pen, yeah.
Yeah, Jahmai Jones had another. Well, it started off with Dylan Dingler. He had a big double to get McKinstry in, which accounted for, I think, our very first run. But Jahmai Jones had, once again, I think is this his first at bat? No, he had an at bat yesterday as well. But
yeah, the other 3 runs were from the bench players that all pinched hit last night, including Jake Rogers as well.
Right, Jake. So, but yeah, Jones continues to step up. But yeah, the veterans, Torres, Baez. Who else had an RBI today? And they had Jones, but Baez had the big 4 because he had a 2-run home run.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that going into the postseason, I think Torres was definitely one of the guys that I talked about just because he has so much experience. I mean, he has experience in World Series games, and so does Javi. So that's just kind of what you would have hoped and expected going into this game. And we'll see if we have some magic left. Heading back to Seattle. I mean, they looked pretty mean, they looked pretty dejected, in this game. I think they were really hoping to not have to, go back to Seattle. I think they wanted to be able to shut the door in Detroit, but a tough task. Definitely a tough task to hold this team down. We don't give up, and this sets the stage for, as you stated, offline. Either one of their first two starting pitchers will be available, so we'll have to kind of prepare for either or. But I would have to assume you put the ball in the hands of George Kirby, and obviously everything's on the table. They can go to anybody at this point because now they're fighting for their lives all over again. And I think that, do you feel like the Tigers have regained the momentum? I know we definitely felt like we lost it after getting smoked out of Game 3, but do you think that we've kind of regained that momentum?
See, that's the thing. That's the thing, and unfortunately, it's not like this was Game 3, our first game home, where then we get to go ahead and play the next night also at home.
Yeah.
Momentum is only good as the next day, and unfortunately, the next day for this team is an off day. So everyone's going to reset, get reacclimated. Us back to the West Coast, and them back home after being out here for 3 days. That's a challenge for a baseball player. I mean, we see it honestly in hockey on back-to-backs. They get a great first game, they go fly plane, they play the next night, and they get absolutely bombed. I mean, it happens due to the nature of how far these guys have to travel. But I'm just saying that you wipe the slate clean. It's 0-0, winner take all that we're used to hearing. That's the odd thing too, though. Scuba obviously on the bump. Everyone should be normally would be like, hey, this is, we got this. There's no reason to believe we shouldn't. However, in Scuba's young playoff career, he's faced one elimination game, and it did not turn out very well last year in Cleveland. So I'm just hesitant with how anemic the offense has been. I just hope they didn't blow their load today in one game and then go right back to 1 for 12 in scoring position and leaving 13 runners on, because honestly, and if we were in the game like we have been for most postseason, if it's that kind of game again and we lose, dude, my frustration level will be through the roof at the amount of chances they've had. But I digress. It's a Game 5 and you have Scuba on the mound. So confidence, I feel like for the majority of fans, has to be there.
Yeah, you bring up a good point with us having that day off, that where the momentum kind of dies down a little bit, so we won't be able to really lean on that. But let's check out the box score here. We only managed 2 earned runs against Bryce Miller.
And he actually had good numbers against us in his limited 3 appearances and starts against us.
So it all kind of fell apart in the. So if Bryce went 4 1/3, so it fell apart a little in the 5th inning, right? Because the 5th inning, they just didn't complete that 5th inning. So Spire, who's arguably one of their best. I mean, their lone lefty specialist outside of Ferguson, who got ended up having to be pulled in the 5th in the 9th yesterday. So we jumped all over him. 3 hits, 2 runs. 2 of them were earned. He gave up the home run to, who would that have been? Did Riley hit a home? Did that Riley home run was against a lefty? No, he Bizardo.
It was a lefty. Riley hit today's. Yeah, his home run today was against a lefty. It
was against Spire. Okay. All right. But once again, Troy Melton goes 3 innings, gives up 2 hits, 0 earned, 3 Ks. Now bringing down that ERA from, what was that? From Cleveland, right? I think these are postseason stats. Yeah, he got torched in that one outing. I think his ERA was 45 or something like that. So
Yeah, 108. It was 108.
was it that high? Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in
Um,
our college buddies group chat. He
so
had
yeah.
one third of an inning recorded. Yeah.
So Holden and Finnegan each give up a earned run of their own. Melton gives up none. Will Vest pitches a clean ninth inning. Um, who do you want to see if Skubal, if we expect Skubal to go six or so, hopefully. Who are
As
you?
many as he can give you.
Yeah, I guess
I mean,
you.
you go until you can't throw anymore, honestly.
And then who do you trust the most to close the game out in the end? Is it Finnegan? Is it Montero? Is it Vest? I mean, we assume Vest will be closing out the game.
Yeah, I mean, Finnegan came in a bit earlier today than he normally would, almost ever. I mean, fifth, sixth inning is fairly early, and obviously Holton was not cutting it coming in from Mize. Yeah, I still think you go with Vest, Finnegan. Yeah, but Holton, it continue. I know he's got good numbers right now in the playoffs, but his end of the regular season was fairly concerning. So it would be those two guys. And honestly, if you want bulk, 2-3 innings, I mean, Kiter has yet to really be touched up. So in 2 years of playoff appearances so far, again, limited to 5-6 innings total. Because I think he pitched the save in the extra inning game, and then 2 innings just the other night in the blowout, or 1 inning. So he's been good. So that's kind of it for me, the short list. Some of these other guys have been on and off getting hit around throughout the 2 series. So those have been the most consistent. And Melton. But yeah, so Scobie going tomorrow. Hopefully we can get about 7 to 8 innings out of him. Ideally, he's going to definitely throw 100 plus pitches. Not sure what the rest of the schedule looks like for the next round, but I would be surprised if he could be ready for game 2 should they win game 5 Friday. So we'll see about that. But that's kind of if you get into trouble early, for me, it's got to be Kiter, Montero, maybe Melton coming in first, and then you got to save your leverage guys for your 6th, 7th inning and beyond. Ideally 7th inning and beyond. So we'll go from there. But we'll see. Bullpen for Seattle got tagged around today a bit. Some of these guys have been pitching very well. So I would not expect this type of similar performance from their bullpen tomorrow. But one thing I wanted to note too, before Foster had some technical difficulties here as he tries to jump back in here eventually at some point, is that the offensive runs yesterday heading into the 9th inning, and really a lot of the runs that started the 6th inning, looks like they're 4-run 6th inning and maybe 1 or 2 in the 5th, were mostly generated by their bench players who came in to pinch hit. So I think that is, it's good for the team overall, right? I think there's no challenging that. There's no questioning that. I think the potential issue or minor flag is that it's your bench players that are having to hit and step up. Whereas those guys early in the season, not counting Jake Rogers from last night, a lot of those guys have been struggling. Wenciel Perez had to go to the bench after struggling in the first round and really struggling over the last 30, 40 days or more of the regular season, as we have noted collectively over the last few weeks. And, Jemai Jones getting opportunities. Andy Abani is coming through with some hits, well needed. So guys like Dingler, McKinstry getting some hits, Riley with a good home run, who actually was kind of hot in the Cleveland series after he ended the regular season with a hit that ended a really long slump against them through the regular season. So those guys continue to step up, and Parker's got to do something too. I know he's in there for defense, but I mean, potentially the point where you either bench him as a defensive replacement late game or pinch runner even. But if you're gonna have Jemai play out there, or even DH, you move Javi to center, or however they want to configure it. That could work. But Javi's obviously, or not Javi, Jemai is a not as quality outfielder, especially at center compared to Parker. So that's the drawback you would take from that. But I would expect them lineup wise to pretty much run a similar lineup for game 5. I don't think it matters between the Seattle's two options they can go with, because whoever they don't throw, I feel like it's probably going to be the first one out of the bullpen. If not after a lefty to break it up, I could see that happening for Wilson, the skipper for the manager for the Mariners. So we'll see here. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. As we mentioned earlier, Tigers with these guys last year's playoff games have been nothing easy, except for today. Over the last couple innings, they finally had some fun and unleashed some probably some pent up anxiety and nerves to finally feel good. So we'll see. I feel like the games they were supposed to win, they haven't. The games they really shouldn't supposed to have won, they have. So kind of don't know what to make of this game 5, even with Scooble on the bump. I have noted that in his 2 years of playoff games, when he gives up a home run, just one, they lose. And that's 2 out of the 5 starts, which he is 2-1 in all time in the last 2 years. So got to limit those guys to staying in the park as best as possible, and I think that bodes well. Obviously, they saw what happened, what we can do when we can go yard, and we did a few times, albeit a couple solos and a 2-run homer. So like to see it more with guys on base, but they tend to do it the old-fashioned way and station to station and run first to third and produce that way. So looks like we have our host back up online with us now.
Excellent. You hear me?
Yep.
Good. All right. Excellent job. I was listening, keeping it going. Hold on. Let's see if we can get back right here. Let's get back right.
Yeah. Anything you wanted to comment on while you were working through that off of what we were just talking about?
So who played center today?
Parker started, but it looked like he only had one at bat, and then he just got pinch hit for repeatedly. But Wensiel played center after coming in from Jemai.
Okay.
So I'm assuming Jemai had one at bat just to hit, and then Wensiel went right out there for the defensive replacement and played the rest of the game.
Okay. And then I don't have the lineup in front of me, but Colt hit third, correct?
Yeah, 0 for 4 for him today. Kind of surprising. I thought maybe Jones would pinch hit for Colt just because of Parker's, extremely good defensive prowess.
I guess by the time Jones hit, we were putting up some runs, so maybe defense wasn't as important, but
We saw that backfire yesterday in the outfield.
yeah. Well, yeah. But okay, and Wensiel got a hit, it looks like.
Yeah, actually, 1 for 2. Run scored a run, yep.
Yeah, so I wonder something makes me wonder whether they'll run that back and just start Wensiel in center field, or I guess maybe not be afraid to pull the trigger, because I mean this is the first time I want to say Meadows has been subbed in, right? I mean subbed out.
Playoffs, yes. I think he's been pinch hit for a few times near the end of the regular season, though.
Oh yeah, regular season, yeah, but he's pretty much played, and yeah, he's got a 167 average in the postseason. So, I mean, Carpenter went over. He bat in the leadoff slot, and he went 0 for 5 as well. So, we got some production in other areas. He's had that big home run, but you take away that, he's hit some balls hard to the right side of the field, but Naylor and Polanco have really been pretty strong on that side, holding him down. He's got to put it in the air, that's for sure. So,
Sure.
Let's get to a break, and then we will wrap things up. All right, let's see if we can pull up George Kirby's Savant page here. Do we have so are there probables for Game 5 yet, or are we still kind of speculating on that?
I mean, obviously everyone knows who we're starting, but they don't have to make a decision until tomorrow, whatever, 3-4 games, whenever the lineups have to be turned in to whoever Major League has on site there to take it as the official lineup. So they do it like we have, which we don't make our move, even our transaction announcements until the day of a game. I think they're going to wait, but it's going to be one of those two guys, Kirby or Luis Castillo.
Oh yeah, Luis Castillo. Okay. All right. Well, as we look at George Kirby's, as we look at his page, another kind of ballooned ERA. He's over 4, but he's 10-8 on the year. And as far as his, he stays around that strike zone. He's got a good K rate, a pretty low walk rate. Gets some swing and miss, gets some chase, but he has been hit pretty hard when you look at the hard hit. When you look at the hard hit rate. The average exit velocity is pretty high as well. So the Seattle Mariners pitching staff as a whole likes to throw the fastball. They've avoided the fastball a little bit due to the Tigers being such a, we like the fastball. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But like Coach said, it may be Luis Castilla. Maybe a Luis Castilla. And then I guess we can take a look at his splits as well. Do you know where Elon University is?
Oh, I can see the logo in my head because I think they've made the NCAA basketball tournament a few times over the years. Man, are they Northeast? Either Northeast or like Pacific Northwest. Those are my only two hunches.
All right. So as we look at the splits here,
Not North Carolina.
Higher average is North Carolina. Okay, it's a higher average against lefties, which is pretty par for the course. Do you see him making any? Do you see AJ making any switches with Carpenter having such a rough day in the leadoff spot, and Colt having such a tough day in the 3-hole?
I think what they could do, and it actually involves only one other player. You move Zach up to leadoff, Carey back to third, and you put Colt back down. I think wherever Zach was at, hitting 6 sandwich between Torkelson and Singler.
And Zach had a monster game today, 3 for 4.
Yeah, my only thing is his splits against righties isn't that great, but man, he's had some timely hits this entire postseason. Not many, but they've all been timely.
All right, let's see what Kirby's has done versus Detroit this year. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. His ERA is 7.20 versus the Tigers, but he's still 1-0. 5 innings. So he's only pitched against us once in the regular
Yeah,
season. In the regular season, I'm guessing.
I think it was that home series right before All-Star break. He came in and gave up runs, but they still won like 12-5 or whatever it was.
So the opponent batting average is 278, which is pretty good for Detroit. 7.20 ERA, and he gave up 4 earned runs. So, and then obviously he didn't take the loss. It was a no decision in the first game of the series. So
Yeah, because he left with the lead, if I'm not mistaken, or at least it was tied, no worse than tied.
probably tied because they only gave up. They only scored 2 the whole game. So they would have unless they no because if he gave them 2 runs
Yeah,
himself.
he gave up the bomb to Carey.
Yeah. So he left no decision in that game because we were probably tied at that point. So yeah, that's George Kirby. I think the pitching staff as a whole was better last year. When we look at all of their numbers, a lot of them are in the 4. The ERA is around 4, but most of them have winning records. Obviously, they've been getting a lot more run support this year than last. And when it's all said and done, last game of the series, all those numbers kind of go out the window because everybody's going to go for broke in that final game. They're probably going to have to at some point go to, or maybe they won't have to go to Spire or Ferguson, but that has killed them amongst some other things. The bullpen as a whole has given up some runs. I mean, they all gave up runs today, but Spire and Ferguson, I think, have had the worst go as far as pitchers are concerned. They're probably going to try to go curb. They're probably going to probably go to Kirby and maybe Castilla. Now, do you see them going from Kirby to Castilla? Just as you kind of asked about Skubal possibly pitching today.
Yeah, it's certainly very plausible. I think but I think the more logical trade-off or change that would be if they throw a lefty in between them, to break it up that way. But I don't know their skipper Wilson like that well enough at all to know if that's the way he likes to lean or not. So, but for me, those would be the first 2 obvious choices for me in terms of order. Regardless of whether you're tied, losing, or up, it's your best 2 pitchers, and it's all hands on deck.
Definitely. So yeah, in conclusion, for those that didn't catch it or didn't watch the game or catch the beginning of the show, the Tigers win today by a score of 9-3. They scored 3 runs in the 5th, 4 runs in the 6th, and then they got it. I mean, they jumped all over this entire bullpen. They scored in every inning up until the 9th. Obviously, they didn't have to hit in the 9th inning, but every inning from the 5 on to the 8th, we scored runs. So it was not just a fluky little inning. They continue to attack, and once again we talked about it in the Cleveland series. We saw the team kind of break the ice a little bit, have some fun, get excited about things. And that just seems to be how we kind of feed off of it. When we're down, and it's evident all the way around. But when things are going well, and it always seems to be, I feel like Jahmai Jones is like the ultimate like spark plug. Like you see him in the dugout, he's got the hand, the different customized handshakes for everybody. And, after he got that double and he scored the run, the life within the clubhouse was pretty electric. So hopefully we can keep that momentum going, even though there will be a day off and they'll obviously be flying back across the United States to Seattle, but we got our ace going. So I spoke about it yesterday. We just got to get back. Just got to get back to Seattle. Just got to get back to, putting the ball in the hands of Scooble. I wasn't super confident about that. I didn't feel, too sure about it, especially because we only scored those meaningless runs in the ninth inning. But here we are. We got the job done, and we have an opportunity to make it to the AL. What is it? DS or
CS.
No, CS. Yeah. We have the opportunity to get to the ALCS. I don't know when the last time that happened, but it seems kind of surreal, especially with how we ended the regular season. So, Coach, any parting words as we were at? Well, before that, please subscribe to Bleacher Speakers on YouTube. Also, please subscribe to Corner to Copa on YouTube as well. That is our other channel that we're working on, that we're going to start building up towards the off season. So if you're wondering where did we go, it's not because we stopped. It's because we're transferring our efforts to a totally not different YouTube channel, because it's all kind of the same, but it'll be Tiger focused. So. Coach, any parting words before we get up out of here?
Oh, I buckle in. The ride continues.
Yeah, they just don't want to be done. Special shout out to Coach for holding things down. In my brain, I didn't speak it out loud, but I was like, I have not had a computer malfunction, no shutdowns in a very long time. And sure enough, today, that is what we were faced with. Coach held it down for a good 5-6 minutes or however long that was. We will be back possibly. I mean, we kind of previewed things, so I don't know if there's much more to talk about as far as preview is concerned. But we will definitely be bringing you a post-game reaction. And we'll just have to see where the energy is at then, regardless of how it goes. If we win, I'm going to be fired up. And we'll just have to see who it might be in the ALCS going against either Seattle or Detroit, because the Yankees came back yesterday. They started that comeback during our post-game show. Aaron Judge had a 3-run home run, and I think the actual game-winning home run came from Mr. Jazz Chisholm. And then they added some insurance runs on top of that, but the Yankees remain alive. Toronto's tough, though. I don't know. They said that Trey Savage is available to come out of the bullpen in the game. What, tonight? Is it tonight?
Yeah, they're about to start here in about 5 minutes or so.
Do the Wings play tonight?
Tomorrow night, Thursday, season. Yeah.
I convinced myself it was Thursday for a quick second.
The game's technically scheduled for 4:40 on Friday, and that's dependent on, I think, what happens with the New York game tonight. If Toronto or if Yankees win to force a game 5, they would hold the same time. I think it was like 8:30. And then we would have 4:40 on Friday, so not quite as early as today. But I would believe, too, that if Toronto does finish it off tonight, that we would then slide into that 8 o'clock slot Friday night.
Okay, so it might get pushed back. So stay tuned. We will be back to see how things pan out. What were you going to say?
One way or the other.
Yeah, one way or another. So as long as we in it, man, one game at a time. See y'all next time.
Get your lick back. If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop letting